There's this viral video going around of a hairstylist who charges $350 for a root touch-up. So let's go ahead and watch what all of us is about.
Your root touch-up is still going to be $320, and then
Okay.
your one row move-up is still going to be $250.
Okay.
Next time, your root touch-up is going to be $370, and then your one row move-up is going to be $300. Did you get my email that I sent out about my price increases for this year?
I did, yeah.
Okay, cool. I just kind of want to go over the email because there's a lot of information on there.
I didn't really understand, yeah.
Okay.
So this video is actually for hairstylists, kind of showing you how she would do a consultation when there's a price increase. And honestly, I really liked this video. I thought it was well put together, and I thought she had a lot of great points. Let's go ahead and continue.
Okay. Starting February 1st, my prices are going to go up to the menu that I sent out on that email.
So what does that mean for me specifically?
Right. So for today, since you're just doing your roots today and then your one row move up,
Yeah.
the price is the same today. So it's $50 per service is what it's increased. So it'll be
Okay.
$100 because you get both of those services at the same time.
Okay. Why are you doing it?
Increasing my prices?
Yes.
I haven't increased my prices in the last 2 years. And so the cost of everything has gone up, and my just skill set has gone up, how much I've invested into my education, all of those things. And my prices haven't been adjusted according to all of those things, as well as my demand and how busy I am.
So this is really common. A lot of hairstylists don't increase their prices every single year. And a lot of it has to do with just fear of this type of conversation that we have to have with our clients. But every other employee-based person gets a yearly raise typically. Now with hairstylists, a lot of us are self-employed. So the only person who's going to give us a raise is ourselves. And while we do go to a lot of extra education, we increase our skill set, we start to build the demand, our price should go up.
So there's no way for us existing clients to stay and just your new clients to be higher, like grandfathered in?
No, there's not. Just because if I do that for you, then I'd have to do that for everybody, and then I wouldn't actually be making any more money.
Okay. All right.
Because the most of my clients have been with me for a long time. And so if I do that for one person, I can't do that for everybody. As much as I love having you guys, if there's anything that I could do to give you like different services that might fit your budget. But if I'm being honest, like the root touch-up is kind of one of my most basic services. And then same with the one row move ups, like those.
No, we can't change anything.
It could be lower. So it's like, the question is it something that you still want to move forward with? Or would you like me to refer you to somebody else?
No, I want to stay.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions about it?
No.
Okay.
That's good.
So this is a prime example of what you should be doing if you're a hairstylist. Now, I'm not saying that you should go and charge $350 right out of beauty school and start doing this. This particular stylist has built a brand for herself. She's built a clientele. And of course, she's an amazing hairstylist, because what type of clientele would she have if they weren't coming back to her and still paying those prices? So it's evident that she has a high skill set, and even this client still enjoys getting her hair done with her regardless of the price. The other thing that I really loved about this consultation is that the stylist gave her a lot of options. So it wasn't like, hey, today your price just went up. She said, hey, I sent out an email. Did you see it? And today your price for your hair is still going to be the same, but the next time you come in, it's going to be this price. And if that's too much of a shocker for you, I can either change up your hair service or I can refer you to somebody else. So I really love that she gave her a lot of options. However, the internet did not think so.
Don't try to justify a $300 root touch-up. I'm sorry. Maybe you have a different demographic. Maybe you pay more in rent. Whatever the case may be, you're still charging too much.
Is she charging too much, or is she just higher in demand? This is a case of supply and demand, right? She has so many clients. She probably has a wait list for herself. The prices has to go up. And if you're not increasing your prices once you had an overflow of clients, then you're doing it all wrong. But let's go ahead and listen to the stylist's logic.
In my salon, I charge $65 for a single process root application. We use Goldwell hair color, which is a premium hair color line. We don't cheat with cheap stuff. And we also use the corresponding developers. I don't cheat in any way, shape, or form.
So $65 is pretty cheap for a root touch up, especially like in my area. And she is using kind of what I would consider expensive hair color.
All right, so this can holds 8 ounces of color, equal to 4 tubes. I did the math. I pay $37.50 per can. If you divide that by 8 ounces, it comes out to $4.69 per ounce. Okay, the developer, $8 for 33 ounces. It costs 25 cents an ounce. A typical single process root application is done with about 4 ounces of color. So if we take 2 ounces at $4.69, it comes to $9.38, and 2 ounces of the developer at 50 cents for a grand total of $9.88 for that application. So if you charge $65 and your product cost is $9.88, you're still profiting $55.12.
Is that really profit though? $55? Like, no, it's not. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more.
If you're in a commission situation where the salon takes half of that, as a salon owner, you take your $32.50, which is half of the $65, deduct your $9.88, which is your product cost, and your total profit will be $22.62. You got it.
$22.62. First of all, minimum wage in California is $20. So if I'm working for $22 an hour, and again, I'm going to get into the why this isn't the only cost that a hairstylist has, but you are not profiting. There's just absolutely no way. And to work for $20 an hour as a hairstylist just does not logically make sense, especially with all of the thousands of dollars that a lot of us invest into education. And I'm not just talking about cosmetology school that goes $20,000-$30,000 for the program. I'm talking about the continued education that we need to have, along with the overhead, the taxes, the insurance, the credit card fees, the list goes on.
I'm not trying to undermine us. I know we invest in our education. I know we invest in tools and all of the things to keep our clients happy and to be the most successful hairstylist ever. However, $300 for something that costs $10 to make is just inexplicable.
It's honestly irrelevant because how she does business versus how I do business versus how the other stylist does business, we all do business differently.
It doesn't take skill to cover gray. It's easy. And let's face it, you get it done in 15-20 minutes. So do the math. If in 15 minutes you're profiting.
It does not take 15 minutes to do a gray touch-up. It takes approximately 10 minutes to 15 minutes to drape and do a consultation, another 15-20 minutes to mix and apply, and then of course there's processing time, then you're shampooing and blow dry style, which is about 45 minutes on top of that.
$55 for the booth runners and $32 for the commission people. If you can do 3 clients an hour, you're like upwards of $100 an hour.
Okay, I forgot. Okay, she's talking about commission. So first of all, if you're a hairstylist and your salon owner is doing a 50% commission split or making you a 1099, what I can tell you as far as what I know in the state of California, you cannot be a 1099 employee because you are an employee. That means the salon needs to be supplying you with all of your product cost, not taking a 50-50 split and then charging you for the cost of product. We don't do that here. Like that's not even fair. If you are working somewhere where they want to do a commission split, then the salon needs to be paying for everything minus your main tools like your shears and your blow dryer.
You guys, let's get real. Let's keep our prices not cheap.
Oh, and one more thing that I need to add, but most clients do not like sharing their time with other clients. She's talking about doing 3 clients every 15 minutes for a root touch-up. Most clients, at least in my salon, they don't like sharing that time. There are times where clients may overlap a little bit and we have help to mitigate that. But if you're doing clients back to back, like that's kind of been like a big no-no. You want to provide like a nice quality time, but if you want to do your business like that, that is totally your thing and that's your bag, like do it. But would I do that? Definitely not. I've been there, done that, and I don't like working like a machine.
Let's keep them reasonable so that you can make a living and people don't have to give you their whole week's paycheck to get their roots covered, which, by the way, is going to need to get in 4 weeks. Make it make sense.
Making your services reasonable, you know what? There's a stylist for that. There's salons for that. I don't need to be that. If I've already put in my time, I've been a reasonable stylist before. I've been an affordable stylist before. We've all been there starting out in the industry. But as you grow and as you build up that demand, again, so should your prices. And if you're not really adjusting for that, then that's okay. That's totally fine. You want to be an affordable and reasonable hairstylist forever? Great for you.
Somebody tell me what is going on with people who do hair. Okay, for context, I'm in the beauty industry. I'm an esthetician. I'm currently working as a waxer. So I don't do hair. I don't know hair, but I do have a good, feel for some of the beauty industry. I saw a video today of a woman charging $370 for a root touch-up. And I just saw another TikTok of a woman talking about how she got turned away by 3 hairstylists because all she wanted was a haircut. What is it with beauty providers these days? I don't understand. It's like this entitlement, this weird attitude. Like, we get what you do is like, it's an art and it's a beautiful, wonderful thing. And it does take a lot of skill. But my dear, it's not that deep.
So I think what she's kind of talking about here is that some hairstylists like to departmentalize. They like to maybe just focus on hair cutting, just focus on balayage, just focus on color corrections, or maybe you're a bridal stylist and you just do updos. Just because you're a hairstylist doesn't mean that you do all the services. I, for one, am somebody who loves doing a little bit of everything. I think the only thing I don't do anymore is definitely perms, and I don't do smoothing treatments. I just don't do them. I don't do them for my health and for a lot of other reasons. I just don't think they're worth my time. But I love doing extensions and I love doing color corrections and I like cutting to a certain extent. So I can understand why somebody would look for a hairstylist for hair cutting and then maybe they just don't do that. You're just not looking in the right spot. And as far as a stylist charging $350 for a root touch-up, I mean, kudos to her. Like, that's amazing. I don't even judge that at all. And I don't think it's a sense of entitlement. I think it's just she knows how to run her business.
Whole videos talking about the hair industry. I do hair. I've done hair since I was 17. And I'm talking about hair. I'm talking about my experience, but I know I've seen comments of nail techs, photographers, all sorts of trades that do this, and they're literally scamming their clients. The amount of times that I get a new client and they're like, oh yeah, I get a full foil like from my previous hairstylist, whatever. That's what they tell me. I start foiling in the back. The back of their head, brunette, has not been touched. I ask them how much they charge, like they get charged $400 plus. They have maybe freaking 20 foils, it seems like, in their whole head previously. It's brassy. It has tiger stripes, like splotches, just done terribly.
Okay, I'm just going to chime in here. I don't disagree with her yet because there are some points in here that she does have. However, no matter who is sitting in your chair and they got their hair done by another stylist, the new stylist is always going to be judging the work of the previous stylist. That's normal because in a hairstylist world, we all think that we can do it better than the last person.
Terribly. The amount of cuts that I get that are uneven, like from their previous hairstylist. And they're being charged an arm and a leg. And it's not just individual, like booth rent hairstylists. It is huge salons. Like, I work in a pretty bougie area in Kansas City. And there's like a salon down the street from me that is like kind of, I feel like, our competition. And they're so overpriced. It's a very popular salon, very hoity-toity. And the amount of girls that I hear get literally scammed. Like, they're lying about the prices. I had this one girl, she was younger.
So I will say that being from Southern California, we have salons everywhere and we have really nice, bougie, high-end salons. And just recently I did a model's hair that lives in Santa Monica and drove all the way to South OC, which everyone thinks that that's considered San Diego, but it's not. And so she drove really far to come get her hair done with me twice at this time. And she actually got her hair messed up at one of the most expensive, bougiest hair salons in Beverly Hills. And she just happened to go to a hairstylist that kind of just didn't really love what she does. And she just didn't do a great job. And that happens. You're going to find high end priced things and services in bougie areas that aren't worth it. But you, as a consumer, need to do your research on who you're going to and know the quality that you're getting. And you can do this by looking at the Instagram pages, going to their website, looking at the reviews. I mean, there's just so many things. And then, of course, doing a consultation and getting to know the stylist before you even exchange any cash. So I'm going to skip ahead here because she just kind of goes into a story on how a mother and daughter got the same exact services and then got charged two different prices. And this is her form of scamming, which I do kind of agree. But like at the same time, it's a different head of hair. Wasn't there. I don't know what the whole circumstances are. And at the end of the day, if a stylist or anybody that runs their own business sets their price, that's their price. And you either agree to pay it or you don't.
So yeah, all the hairstylists and different people like defending this, I know how much time it takes. I know how much training I have. I know how much color costs, how much rent costs. Obviously, I know all these things. You can still charge a fair price. We should not be charging lawyer fees, like the amounts that lawyers charge per hour to do hair. It's not like that. It's hair. It is hair at the end of the day. It's a luxury service, of course, as in like, yeah, it comes after you pay rent and, you know, you pay all your bills. Like, yeah, not everybody can get their hair done, but most people should be able to get their hair done. Most people should be able to. It just should not cost over $400 to get a full foil, and you don't even get a full foil.
So what I'm seeing here is this stylist, and like a lot of hairstylists, think with their own wallet. They think that because they can't afford it, that their clients can't afford it, so they start to be reasonably priced. And I think a lot of this is because we are in an industry full of women. We have a lot of feelings, and we don't look at our business like a business. We're really involved with how it should be, how it should feel, how it should this. And I don't know. I just don't buy into that. I've been there, done that. I had that mindset once upon a time. And as I started to build my clientele and I started to get a ton of burnout, I quickly realized that all it took was like one little mistake for me to make. And my clients literally could care less if I was their hairstylist or not. So that's when I started really treating my business like a business.
It drives me insane, and then I have to fix it, and I'm not gonna charge something that I don't believe should be charged.
There it is.
I charge what I would pay to get my hair done. Luckily my mom does hair, so I don't have to pay to get my hair done.
She's thinking with her own wallet here. Again, she is not separating the fact that because she wouldn't pay that, her clients wouldn't pay that either. So this is how she comes up with her pricing.
But still, I wouldn't pay $1,000 for a color correction that is just not a color correction like you.
Again, I don't know. It just like seriously irritates me sometimes when I hear a hairstylist talk like this, because you can go and buy a Louis Vuitton bag, right, for $1,000, but you can also go buy a $10 purse at Target. And this goes for hairstylists as well. You can go to somebody who charges X amount of dollars, or you can go to somebody who charges $10 for haircuts. I mean, you have choices at the end of the day. It's like going to the Lamborghini, car lot and being like, hey, I want this car, but it shouldn't cost this much. It should be costing me $50,000, not $1 million. And you just don't get to choose what the price is. That's the whole point of being a business owner, is setting your own prices. And I think the fact and the reality is that if you were so bad at doing hair, you were so terrible at customer service, would you really have the clientele to scam you? I mean, it would be all over the internet if you did a bad job.
You guys call the just craziest things color corrections. Color correction is so rare that you actually get one of those. And then they're telling all their clients, oh, color correction. Half the time of like the videos that I see of color corrections, it's they're color correcting their previous work. So like say I were to make someone brunette,
I
my
can
client
agree with
brunette,
that in some sense.
a few months later she wants to go blonde, and say I were to film this whole process and I'm calling it a color correction. That's not a color correction. It's just not. It's not. Color correction is someone dyed their hair black at home. Oh, now we have to go through the color wheel and we have to do that. That's a color correction, okay? Do not let these hairstylists scam you. It's scamming. Of course they're gonna defend it and be like, no, I am worth this amount. You're worth an amount, but you're not worth, nobody's worth $150 an hour. I'm just sorry, just maybe Chris Appleton, but
There it is. And this is a point that I've been continuously making, is that hairstylists like to put men on pedestals. So you're not worth $150 an hour, but Chris Appleton is. And why is that? And my whole thing is that what the vast majority of the public does not know is that these celebrity hairstylists actually make well over $150 an hour. They are making astronomical day rates, you guys. I have friends that do celebrity hair, and it can be anywhere from $5,000 day rate all the way, I've seen $30,000 for a day rate. So $30,000 to do hair as a celebrity hairstylist, to be on set for something, to get contracted for something. I'm talking about like thousands of dollars. So do you really think that Chris Appleton is charging $150 an hour to do hair? I don't think so.
nobody's worth that. And I think most people, like I said, should be able to get their hair done. If you want to be a blondie and you work a minimum wage job, you should be able to get that if you save up a little bit of money. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm crazy. Now, of course, if you're talking extensions and 4 wefts and like
Whatever you think is more of value is what you're saying, requires more skill set. And I think this is the argument that a lot of hairstylists continue to make, is that they have put in a lot of time and energy into learning what you think is like basic stuff. But again, I just don't think it's anybody's business how to run someone else's business. Like, that's their business. That's their choice. If I want to charge $300 for a root touch up and you want to charge 50, that's your business. If I happen to find one client to charge $300 to and you find 10 to do $50, you just did like twice the amount of work, 3 times, 4 times the amount of work that I did.
There is a reason that I am called the honest hairdresser here, okay? Do I think that $300 for a root touch-up is a little bit absurd? Absolutely, okay? If you charge it, more power to you. Make that freaking bag. I'm jealous. But this whole thing that hairdressers are doing of like a price breakdown of what things cost, it does not cost $9 to do a client, okay? It doesn't cost $9 to do a client. Yes, you are paying for color, developer, shampoo and conditioner at the bowl, leave-in products, your hot tools, your shears, insurance just in case somebody sues you, and then on top of that, you're paying booth rent, which is very expensive.
Credit card
unless you're
fees.
at a commission salon where they're taking 50% of your earnings. You're also paying for health insurance, which can be upwards of $900 a month, and taxes.
And who's paying for that? It shouldn't be coming out of my pocket. That's the cost of doing business, right? So if the cost of doing business for me to have my overhead and my tools, my supply, the shampoo, the insurance, the health insurance, all of those things, something has to pay for that. And the only way that I make revenue is through the services rendered. And if I know what my numbers are and I know what I need to make per hour in order to sustain myself, then that's what I'm going to charge.
Now, you guys have all seen the video that the hair educator posted on how to discuss a price increase with your client. This one right here. And I just have one thing to say. She's got you bitches mad. Now, I saw this video a few days ago and I haven't gone back to check the comments again, but when I was scrolling through them, there was a bunch of hairstylists that were saying, well, as a hairstylist, this is absolutely insane. As a hairstylist, I would never charge something like this. And then I saw 2 people on my For You page discussing the video. One of them was a hairstylist and one of them was an esthetician. And they both brought up the cost of products, saying there's no way that you would be charging that much just because of the cost of product, because it's X amount. And then the stylist was literally breaking down the cost of the product per ounce so that she could say that there's no way that this price increase increase was because of product cost alone. And I'm not sure why people are forgetting that the other part of her reasoning for a price increase is her demand. Not only that, I don't even think that the situation is actually real because she literally says in the caption how I would discuss a price increase with a client. But even if this is her real pricing, who the fuck cares? As a hairstylist, how are you going to be affected by it? The only way that this would ever affect you is if you argue against the pricing. If you're literally sitting here posting videos saying, I would never charge that amount, you're putting yourself in a mindset that you could never charge that amount. If you have a wait list of 50 plus people, you not raising your prices would be doing a disservice to half of them. Because there are probably people at the bottom of that wait list that are more than happy to pay that pricing so that they can jump ahead. And obviously, if stylists like this have the clientele to support that sort of price, that means that they've created an environment in which the client feels that that price is worth it. We really need to start having faith in consumers and giving them a little bit more credit because nobody is going to pay $300 for a shit service. I truly don't think that people are hopping on the wait list of a hairstylist that smells like smoke, doesn't present themselves well, doesn't show themselves as a leader in the industry, that works out of a dingy, dirty studio with no amenities, a shitty booking system, that's flaky and cancels constantly. And then when they do a service, they leave color stains on somebody's face, or they're bleaching somebody's clothes, or they're getting their neck wet. And of course, mistakes happen with anyone, but I'm pretty sure that people are not lining up to spend hundreds of dollars with a stylist that is doing that consistently. So for any stylists out there that believe it's just totally absurd for anybody to charge $300 for a root retouch, I can understand your viewpoint. However, if I could give just a little bit of advice, it would be to be careful what you put out there because you never know what level of success will find you. And you don't want to potentially block your blessings because you don't believe now that you would ever be at a level worthy of that pricing. And to end this video, I just wanted to bring something to your attention from a financial standpoint. If you are charging $300 for a highlight that takes you 3 hours to do, you are effectively charging $100 an hour. That means that for the root retouch that takes you an hour and a half to complete, you need to be charging $150 so you don't lose money. And if you don't want to charge that amount, that's totally understandable. However, that means if you want to keep that price low, then another price on your menu needs to increase. Or you need to be adding a higher ticket service to your menu that you are going to be doing just as often as root retouches so that those prices average out. But all in all, don't be the stylist that talks down about another's pricing, unless of course they're the shitty stylist that I described in the beginning of this video and they're charging that amount. If that's the case, take that hoe down a peg. And
I think I played that video at the very beginning, but holy shit, this girl literally just took the words out of my mouth. She just hit all of the points. Again, we shouldn't be caring. How does it affect you as a hairstylist, and why are you as a hairstylist attacking another hairstylist? It's literally giving pick me.
There's a video that's going around of a hairstylist, beautiful hairstylist, Krista Storm. She has worked her ass off to get to where she is today, and she charges, I think it was $350 for a root touch-up, and people are losing their minds over it. And the most mind-boggling thing is hairstylists are going after hairstylists, and it's just are you okay? People are ripping her to shreds in the comments, and it's really irritating and very eye-opening, to be honest. Because if that's what she wants to do with her life and the clients are paying for it and she's happy and the clients are happy, why the fuck do you care? You can have your own opinion, but stop tearing someone else down because you don't agree with it. I don't charge $350 for a root touch-up. I charge that for with the haircut and a blow dry, and that's for me to do because that works for me in my city and where I'm at in my life. If she wants to charge $1,000 for a root touch-up, she can do that. And what's it to you? I'm all about go get that bag, go do what makes you and your clients happy, and I'm here and I'm supportive. I just don't, I'm so sick of other people attacking other people. It is gross. Get a life.
Get a life. I think the lesson here is that you as a hairstylist, or just anybody period, is instead of attacking people for what they're doing and how they're running their business and it's not affecting you whatsoever, what you need to start doing is, instead of bashing them, is asking how. How did they do this? How can I learn from this? And how can I level up what I'm doing? And I think that's what is making a lot of people uncomfortable, both consumer and hairstylists, is that they just don't see themselves in that type of success. It just seems completely unattainable for them, and it scares them. Anyway, this whole topic got me so heated that I too made my own TikTok stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and share it with you guys.
So many of you hairstylists have a problem when clients are questioning your pricing here on TikTok. But the moment a hairstylist is charging $320 for a root touch-up, now you have a problem with it. I'm just so confused by the hair community. We're being very contradictory to each other and to this industry. First of all, it is nobody's business how somebody else runs their business. We are in a free market. That means we get to charge whatever we want to charge and how we want to charge it to our clients. I've been seeing so many videos from hairstylists saying there's absolutely no reason why you need to charge that much for a root touch-up because hair product only costs like $9, and that's completely irrelevant. You do not know what the overhead is, you don't know what the skill set is, you don't even know what the demand is for any hairstylist. So who are you to make judgment on what somebody else charges? This is what's wrong with hairstylists. We think way too much with our own pockets. Just because we can't afford something doesn't mean that your clients also can't afford it. When you are marketing yourself to a specific group of people. I've said this so many times. I'm not marketing to everybody. I'm marketing to some, and I want the some. I don't want the everybody. Then I'd be busy all the damn time working myself to death and creating way too much stress. This is why we get burnout, you guys.
So this is literally what I'm talking about. I've been doing hair for over 2 decades. Literally, I was so into people pleasing that I was ruining myself both physically and mentally. And if you've been doing hair for a long time, you know how mentally exhausting it can be. We literally don't get breaks. Like if we're going through something at home, we need to hit the pause button and we need to be happy and we need to be in a great mood because we are making a service all about our clients. We're around toxic chemicals all day. We're standing on our feet all day. It really does a toll on your body. I can just go on and on about all of the negative things about being a hairstylist, but the joy out of it is truly providing transformations and making people feel good. That's why we do it. We truly love the whole aspect of doing hair. And a lot of us truly want to be able to do everybody's hair, but there comes a point in somebody's career where you're just like, you know what? I need to put myself first. And I feel like for all the seasoned hairstylists out there, at least for myself, I'm in my 40s now. I knew I wanted to eventually like taper off the amount of hair that I was doing. It was solely so that way I can take care of myself and put myself first. Because at the end of the day, your clients literally do not give a shit about you. And this is why I say, don't become friends with your clients because it really can hinder you. Because the moment that shit hits the fan, the moment that there's a problem, you might have a price increase. I promise you, those clients that you thought were your friends, they're just going to move right along to go to somebody else. And this is why we need to keep what we do a business, because it is. We need to be a little bit more transactional instead of like the touchy feely all the time. Like, oh, you're having a bad day. Oh, I'm sorry, you're getting a divorce. Let me give you a discount. Like, no, we're not doing emotional discounts anymore. We're just not doing that. Also, side note, don't act like you don't watch yourself after you've posted a TikTok video, because I know this looks really weird, like I'm watching myself talk here, but don't act like you don't do it.
This is not a video for you to be fresh out of school and charge $320 for a root touch-up. That comes with time. That comes with experience. That comes with skill. It comes with education. It comes with demand. There's so many things that goes into this. This is why I don't understand why everybody's so hung up on this. This is the problem with the hair industry and why you see so many men in leadership roles is because you will never see men fighting with other men about what they charge. And this is why men charge top tier, regardless of skill set, regardless of experience, regardless of demand. Because you know why? They're already in demand because they're not bitching about what somebody else is charging and how they run their business. Anyway, kudos to that girl for charging what she wants to charge and making that bag and leveling up as a female hair artist.
The amount of female leaders in our industry is so minuscule. If you look at all of the brands like across the board, what you'll find is that majority of those men in leadership roles, educators or face of the brands, are all male hairstylists. And I think the only reason why this hairstylist got reamed in the comments for her $350 hair service is because she is a female. Because I guarantee that if it were Chris Appleton, as the other stylist said, if it was somebody that was like a really well-known male hair artist, the price would not even be questioned. It would be praised, it would be normalized. For the amount of male hairdressers that I know out of my entire career, they have all agreed with me on this point. It is much easier for a hairstylist who's male to make a lot more money right off the bat than their female counterparts. And so we see a lot of differences in pay between male and female. So gender does play a huge role in our industry, even though we're primarily female dominated. Anyway, that was my entire point of bringing up gender in the first place because again, I think that the only reason why she got reamed in the comments was because she was female and she's not this really well-known celebrity hairstylist. And that should not matter at the end of the day. But I want to know your thoughts. And on that topic, if you had a hairstylist that was charging $350 for a root touch-up, would you tip her? And if you think that tipping culture is just getting way out of control, I want you to watch this other video that's coming up next.